I'm outside, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, God, this is obviously a lesson of appreciation. You've got to appreciate what you have. And I'm looking around, I'm saying, God, yeah, don't I just love where I live? God, I've got my own house, don't I just love that? I've got my dogs, God, I love this life. And then it hit me that I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at all these external things that make me happy, that make my life good. And I get the thought that you still haven't even got it. I look down at my hands and I go, but you've got your hands. You've not even mentioned that. You've got legs, you've got hands, you're healthy as fuck. This month has sort of been a video month about health, and it's all bullshit. It all goes out the window, because look at what you've got. You can stand, you can walk, you've got hands, you can grab something, you've got no affliction. And I'm sat here after this wild dream, and I'm going, oh, I can't believe what I've got in life. Yeah, appreciation. I've got X, Y, Z externally that gives me this gratification of why my life is important or good. And I forgot to even look at the given, the things that are so given in this world that until you lose it, you don't realize what you have. How stupid am I if I say I can't do something? Why? Because what? You can't feel emotion? You can't get past that thing? I can't because it's too hard, because it's too scary, because I don't have the skill. I can. It seems daft. You can. The fellow with no fucking hands can. I can't get myself to the gym. No, the guy with no legs can't get himself to the gym. The guy who's suffering with an illness where he can't move his body can't get himself to the gym. You can use that. You can use these stories and these situations to push you, to laugh at yourself and say, what am I talking about? I can't do it. What? Because it's going to take a bit of time. It's going to take a bit of pain, a bit of stress, a bit of learning, a bit of humility, dropping my ego getting hurt. That's why I can't. And the word I can't, I think I use it too often, and I think it's used way too often. Thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking on the video. I just want to let you know that I also post on Spotify, so you can give it a listen over there if you don't end up finishing this video on YouTube. And I also do the best bits on Instagram, TikTok, Shorts, so the clips are over there. Link is in the description. But yeah, enjoy. So today's video, if I was ever to say you have to watch a video through fully of mine, it would be this video. And I know people say that because they want you to watch and they want to get engagement and they do it to sell you the video. But I am telling you, this experience that I've had this morning, to me, if I could wish to hold on to an idea, it would be to hold on to this. Because the way it makes me feel, the emotions I've experienced are like out of this world. Words cannot describe it. I know I'm hyping it up and I'm bigging it up, but that is the feeling I feel right now. So if you can make it through one video of mine, just hold out for this one. And today's video is going to be about what would life look like if you lost your hands. And it seems like a wild idea to think about, but the way it's come across is, and bear with me with this one, is I had a dream last night, and well, more this morning, really. And you know how dreams go, so I'll describe the dream in the best way I can, without all the craziness that happens in dreams. But the essence of what was happening is it was just a normal time. We were going out to do something with my family. Some tragedy happens. Some awful situation happens and there's panic, there's death, there's all this destruction that's going on. And now I'm separated from my girlfriend and all these things. I'm like panicking, I'm trying to get safe. All this chaos, literally chaos is happening around me. People are dying and it's not really happening to me. I'm watching it, I'm dodging these things, I'm hiding, I'm getting past them, but I'm seeing it all go on. And I survive it in a sense. A lot of it was that experience, but in the end I survive it. And I'm thinking, how the fuck do I survive it? And I'm seeing there's so many people that didn't survive it. There's so many things going on that I'm almost numb to it. But I just feel great because I've survived. Relief more like. But I'm in shock. I haven't really understood the situation. And I reunite with my girlfriend. I'm thinking, oh, thank fuck for that. She's not gone. I've got that. And then I had a dog, but the dog died. And I'm devastated that the dog has died. But in a sense, I get over it because of this one harsh reality. So I come and I meet up with my brother, who I can't remember was there with me or not. But it's happened sort of a bit around the world. It's happened not just in where my location is. And I'm not going to describe the tragedy because, like I said, dreams get daft, so it would dampen the effect of the story I'm going to tell, of its craziness. But when I see my brother, I'm chatting to him and he's sad. He's in shock. He's not himself. And I'm thinking, why? And I'm asking him, are you okay? And he takes, well, not even takes his hands out of his pockets. He moves his hands to the front and he's lost both hands. And I just remember this feeling. I mean, this is a vivid dream as any. And I get it. It is only a dream. So what the fuck am I talking about? But the point of this video, you will see what I'm talking about. I'm looking at it and I'm devastated for him. My worries, my experience was nothing. He's actually suffered. This tragedy has actually affected him. And it hasn't sunk in what has just happened. The gratefulness that I'm still alive, that the reality of nothing's happened to me, because the reality for him has changed. I'm sat there looking at him and seeing he's lost both of his hands. And I mean, I can't really even comprehend this in the moment. But I'm also telling you, this dream, when I dream, I feel it all. And I'm feeling this deep emotion of panic, of shock, of sadness, because of he's lost his hands. And what I do is I go over and I give him a hug and I say, oh, I'm so sorry. This is so sad. And I give him a hug and I'm expecting this hug, 30 second to a minute hug, and he cries and there's all this emotion and this relief from him. But he expects it to be a bit of a 3 second, 5 second hug and sort of releases. And I step back in a bit of shock of like, there's not this emotion that you've released. Because he's in shock, because it's not even hit him. I can see his future and he can't see his future. He can't realize what his life is about to be like. And he's looking and he's going, I can't game anymore. My brother loves his gaming on his Xbox and whatnot. This is my older brother, by the way. And we're all looking around him and we were all thinking the same thing of like, no, this is going to break you in a sense with that factor. But you also have no idea what you're in for, because this is going to be so hard that it's not even about that you can't game anymore. It's about the fact that you can't hold anything. Your function in life is changed forever. And that in essence is the dream. And I can't emphasize enough how strongly and deeply I felt this dream. All the emotions in it, all the terror, all the tragedy. I seriously felt like it was real life. And this leads on to the main point of what I'm talking about. You don't actually see what you have. It is so true. I'm then going about my morning and thinking about this that I've had, and obviously I know it's a dream, it's not serious, and there are people out in the world that have actually gone through something like this, and the emotions I felt with this in this dream have got to be nothing compared to what the reality actually is. So I'm going about my morning. I'm outside, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, God, this is obviously a lesson of appreciation. You've got to appreciate what you have. And I'm looking around, I'm saying, God, yeah, don't I just love where I live? God, I've got my own house, don't I just love that? I've got my dogs, God, I love this life. And then it hit me that I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at all these external things that make me happy, that make my life good. And I get the thought that you still haven't even got it. I look down at my hands and I go, but you've got your hands. You've not even mentioned that. You've got legs, you've got hands, you're healthy as fuck. This month has sort of been a video month about health, and it's all bullshit. It all goes out the window. Because look at what you've got. You can stand, you can walk, you've got hands, you can grab something, you've got no affliction. And I'm sat here after this wild dream, and I'm going, oh, I can't believe what I've got in life. Yeah, appreciation. I've got X, Y, Z externally that gives me this gratification of why my life is important or good. And I forgot to even look at the given, the things that are so given in this world that until you lose it, you don't realize what you have. The precious things. And I'm going about my morning and I'm thinking, what would my morning look like if I didn't have any hands? It would be completely different. Life would be changed. Nothing of what I'm doing in the morning would be the same. I couldn't work. I mean, I couldn't maybe film these videos and edit. I'm typing all these thoughts in my notes. I couldn't even do that. Life would be so different just off this one little factor of losing your hands. So it's bigger than appreciation. During this dream and waking up, and there was so much going on, and the reality of my life and how good it actually is, how great it is. Good is an understatement when it comes to that, and how great it is. This comes on to the next point of see the value you actually have in life, because you've got so much of it. And we talk about troubles, and as humans, we always want more. I talk about that a lot, about that we always want more. And it is, we aspire to be someone, to do these things, become rich, famous, find the love in life, have relationships, find your passion, what's your purpose, get out of your 9 to 5. We talk about all these things, and it's like adding to my life, sorting my life out, without seeing the value that you actually have. The value of your existence. You know, again, in the morning, I'm making food and all this business, and I'm like, it took me nothing. It took me time to earn money to get this food. That's my roadblock. That I have to spend my time to earn money to get food and to get the luxuries that I have. And then you compare it to these people who have these afflictions that stop them working or stop them earning the money. If you're not in a country like ours, which gives you the money to help you do all that. But not only that, but in war, we actually have food. There are countries and there are people out there that don't even have food. And that's how silly it sort of is. That's how daft it is. of what I'm thinking about. You don't like your 9 to 5 because you have to work to get money, to get this. Some people can't even get that. Can't even have the food. I'm talking about hitting your protein goals, eating healthily on a diet. And there are some people in this world that don't get a choice over what to eat. And yet you do. And it goes to also the problems you've got in life. And it doesn't mean you haven't got problems in life because other people have got worse situations than you. But what it means is it gives you this experience. If you can think of it and feel the way I felt about this and see the true reality of life, that some people actually live this existence. My granddad, I never consciously met him. I don't even know if I met him literally as a baby, but he lost his leg. And to me, it's not even talked about. The reality of that someone so close can have that experience. And I think about it, and I think there is no way of understanding that sort of experience unless you go through it or you're surrounded by it. So you've got to figure out a way to get that around your life because it adds so much value. It gives you a break from your own life. When you're saying, why me? And someone else has got it worse than you, it doesn't mean yours is not worth talking about. It's about using that as a bit of fuel, as a bit of make it useful, apply it to your life, because there's so many benefits from feeling that experience, seeing the reality that there are people so much worse off than you, that you can do so much more, that your situation isn't that bad. So there's so many things you can do. There's so many things you can share and help out other people. And this sort of leads on to my next point. Tell your story. Whatever you're going through, whatever's happening to you, the tragedy, the not so tragic, the complaining, I hate that I have to go to my 9 to 5. I hate that I don't have my dream job. I hate that I'm suffering in X, Y, and Z. Or you've actually got a story to tell. You've got an affliction. There's some guy in my comments with the username Bob Marley. He's got an affliction. He's got something that goes on in his life. And I love it when he comments, and I love hearing him because it snaps you out of reality a little bit, or snaps you into reality of your life. And it's those sort of people that need to tell the story. Because I was thinking, when it comes to therapy, you're getting all the things off your chest to someone else. Imagine if it was someone who's suffered, someone who's got an affliction. Imagine you had to speak to someone in therapy about all your problems, and they're sat there and they've got no hands. They are the perfect therapist. They are the perfect people to listen, for you to tell the story to, for them to give you advice. You would, without a second thought, listen to the advice they've got, because they've been through something so massive and got over it that you can't not listen to them. And it lessens your problems. You look at your life and see how silly you're sort of being. Now, don't get me wrong, some people actually have issues. And like I said, it doesn't take away from this issue, but it just adds. It adds to things. It adds a process, a break. It gives you a break because you realise you are lucky. Us in this Western world, the biggest problems we have do not compare to the people who actually suffer. And I wonder if we need to see more of the true reality of people suffering. And will that fix the world? If we see these kids who are suffering from cancer, these kids who've got these awful diseases, who are in so much pain, and instead of wondering Why does this happen in the world? There mustn't be a God, whatever you believe, because there's so much suffering. Maybe we need to take value from these experiences and use them to make the world a better place. Because when I'm thinking of this, when I'm feeling this dream, I go on to this point of when you say, I can't. How stupid am I if I say I can't do something? Why? Because what? You can't feel emotion? You can't get past that thing? I can't because it's too hard, because it's too scary, because I don't have the skill. I can. It seems daft. You can. The fellow with no fucking hands can't. I can't get myself to the gym. No, the guy with no legs can't get himself to the gym. The guy who's suffering with an illness where he can't move his body can't get himself to the gym. And you can use that. You can use these stories and these situations to push you, to laugh at yourself and say, what am I talking about? I can't do it. What? Because it's going to take a bit of time. It's going to take a bit of pain, a bit of stress, a bit of learning, a bit of humility, dropping my ego getting hurt. That's why I can't. And the word I can't, I think I use it too often. And I think it's used way too often. And I think it's a bit wrong that we distance ourselves, that we separate ourselves from these people that experience extreme trauma, that lose limbs, that suffer through cancers, that seriously suffer. And we all know those examples. But it's almost like, why is no one filming these things? Why is no one telling the stories of these people's lives? And why, when you do see them, are they dumbed down? Are they numbed? You don't see the true pain. There's an appearance. It can't be too gory. It can't be too much for the viewer. Why? What? Because we'll care too much? Because it'll hurt us too much? It'll traumatize us too much? And in a sense, it's kind of what we need, because there's too much bickering. There's too much debating over theories and ideas and living life and politics, that it's like bollocks to all that. This cunt over here who's got an illness, who's in extreme pain, can't even think about any of that. And I think about, I'm not religious, but I think about when it comes to, if it's all true and Jesus was on the cross suffering, and you imagine all the people that met him, all the people that knew him and doing all these kind acts, doing the great things, and then they have to see him on the cross and suffer. That's going to change your life. Seeing someone in true reality suffering, in pain, that's going to change things. That's going to alter your chemistry, if it's all true. And you can imagine that situation. And we've almost got to use stuff like that in the modern day and hear these stories and listen to these people. Why can't, for me, can I just go to the hospital and speak to someone that wants a friend who's suffering, who's alone? A child who's got cancer, can I go and visit him and speak to him and be his friend and give him company if he wants it? And I wonder if it needs to be more ready available to be surrounded by this suffering, because in reality we've got fuck all. We've got nothing. The majority of us have got the most bliss life you can imagine, but we don't see it, we don't appreciate it, we don't feel it. And it's not like I'm blaming you and saying it's your fault that it's that way. I'm just saying it's sad, because you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And I almost fear that situation. I fear that feeling, because I'll tell you a story. When I was a kid, I must have been told off or felt some kind of way, and I had this diary. It wasn't even a diary, a notepad. And what I wrote in it, in capital bold letters with exclamation marks and underlined, I wish my parents would die. And I remember I wrote it, shoved it in a drawer in my anger as a child. And I remember the days after that. And it gets me sad now thinking about it. that I wrote that down so intently. And imagine if you actually had the power for your wishes to come true. And that came true. That would be devastating. I can't even fathom that day coming. And yet I wished it as a kid. And I remember I ended up chucking that notepad over this fence somewhere, getting it out of my life, getting rid of it, because I hated that thought so much. How could I write that down? The guilt. And it's like you don't realize what you've got till it's gone. And these experiences have a value of bringing us together. If that happened in reality, I would have to spend more time with my brother, care for my brother more. But I don't. I don't do it now because it's a given. It's a given that he's here. It's a given that he's healthy. It's a given that everyone I know is healthy. Yet an experience like that almost has a purpose and a point for that person to experience life truly, to almost be rebirthed in another existence. But also the people around him to experience everything so differently. And it is like this world right now, this existence you've got, you're in creative mode. Everything is just so bliss and perfect. Even if you've got issues going on, arguments and toxicity in your life, and your problems become simpler because it's like, yeah, just get rid of them. What would life be like if you just made these decisions that you know are right? What would life actually look like if you sat in true reality? If you realized the consequences of things, if you realized how sensitive life is, how lucky you are, one, to be alive, but to have the life that you have. And I don't think we experience the negative enough. Like I said, if you got suffering, if you got trauma, if you've got something going on and you're struggling and you're in the deep depths of darkness, of a depression, share your fucking story. The amount of times I think about when I was sad growing up, when I couldn't cope with life, and now thinking of how happy I am, how my life is perfect, I think back to those times and I'm like, I wish I wrote it down. I wish I told people. Because you can see the story. Other people can appreciate what they have. Other people can help you. Other people can learn if you just tell your story. And I know it's all just a dream that I've had, and it's not reality. But you don't think of these things until they come on your plate, till they come across your life. And you think, yeah, I've never thought about it. I've never thought about the people that literally can't get out of bed. That it takes them 2 hours in the morning to get ready, to get things sorted, because they can't. They need help constantly. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.